Larry was 27.
That ain't causing you.
I was great.
And he had great dance moves. So
Great dance moves. He did gritty, right? He did a great job.
Was good.
So DBs, no, absolutely not. Receivers, excellent to evaluate. Lots of fun.
Welcome to the Command Center, presented by SeatGeek, the official primary ticket partner of the Washington Commanders. Brian Coleman Jr. here with Santana Moss, Fred Smoot, London Fletcher, Logan Paulson, and we are out here at DC Prop. Now, right now, we want to do this season and just do, right?
Yeah.
We want to highlight the positives from the season, because there was some bright spots. There were some good things from this season, correct?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So first things first, let's talk about Sam Howell. He became the first starter to start all games of the season since Kirk Cousins. I think that was in 2017. That was your boy, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel that Sam Howell did being the starter, full-time starter, almost like a rookie season we talked about it a lot, right? Tan, I'm going to start with you.
Well, he showed he was capable. And then he showed he was durable. Anytime
Yeah.
you get a quarterback that can take the punishment that he took with all those sacks and just some of the things that he did himself and go out there and finish the season strong, that gives you hope that say, hey, you know what? You know, we can mark that down and say, okay, now we have a guy that we know at worst, he's a backup. You know, at worst. And then when you have the draft capital that we have, if you decide that, hey, we're going to use that for a quarterback, this league needs two quarterbacks. You need two quarterbacks on your team. So I'm okay with Sam. Like, you know, I get it. People want more. But when you look at the body of work that was around him, he went out there and stood tall with all the stuff that went on in front and everything. And so I think I was happy with what I saw. I wished it was better, but I was happy. I was pleased with what I saw.
That's some respect for me. He gave my respect. And if you ain't got respect for him, that tells me a lot about you. And I always say this too. If we seen him with the bare minimum, we seen him with questionable protection, we seen him with drop balls, we seen him with inexperience, to me, it's like my report card on him is kind of incomplete to the point, like, his highs was good enough for me to be like, I think he's a starter.
Right.
Now his lows, which I was already anticipating because he was young, I'm one of the people, I'm kind of undecided when it comes to Sam. So I can't even say how I truly feel, but respect, he gave my respect, and I'm sure he gained respect of his teammates.
Yeah, you talk about, and Tanner talked about, you know, his toughness. To be able to stand in the pocket, take all those hits, and the hits he took this year, and the sacks and all those different things. What you want to see, you look at him at the beginning of the season to the end, all the way through that game against Dallas, and you know, at points in the season, there was issues with Sam holding on to the football too long and taking sacks, and that's part of what you get with a young quarterback with a new system, processing all those different things. So you're gonna go through that. But then when you know, at the end of the season, when Ron went to Jacoby, but then Sam ended up having to start, you saw him stand in the pocket, delivered accurate throws at times, and learn from what they wanted him to do in EB's system. So with Sam, I saw some development from the beginning of the season until the end of the season. I think looking forward, at worst, he'll be a really good number 2 quarterback if they decide to bring in another guy.
I think people talk about that like it's a bad thing. I think having a good backup quarterback in the NFL, like Tanner was talking about, is absolutely critical, right? So you think about the draft capital you used on Sam, 5th-round pick that's going to be a backup for you moving forward, a guy that could develop into something more. Fred talked about the highs being really, really high. You see the big-time throws. Periods of the season, he's leading the league in NFL and leading the NFL in big-time throws, doing a great job with that stuff. So I think he's obviously got a dynamic talent, but still needs to grow and develop. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay for fans to understand that. It's okay if they take a quarterback with a 2nd pick overall. That's totally fine.
And the thing we also need to talk about when you talk about Sam is his temperament, his mental. To be able to deal with all the stuff that he dealt with and not get flustered, not, you know, hey, go through the highs and lows from an emotional standpoint. I'm sure he was dealing with that. He took it, and I love his temperament, especially as a quarterback.
And I think that's why it's important we have this conversation around this fire, right? Because there are things that you can look at from these guys that we will be getting back that are good things, right? And let's talk about that. Let's focus on defense, and I want to get just London and Smoot, if that's okay, because it's a defensive conversation. So we know we made these. So we know we made these trades, right? So we know we made these trades, right? We know that defense does not look at the end of the season, how it looked in the beginning of the season. Talk about that next man up mentality with these guys. We had a lot of injuries, but we also made some trades. How do you feel our defensive players, the young guys that got a chance to show what they could do now that some of those guys were out the building? London, I'm going to start with you.
Well, I think you got to look at Deron Payne, who's still what I consider a young guy. You saw him emerge as a leader on this defensive line. You know, you went through the trade of Montez Sweat and also Chase Young. And so that was a void from a leadership standpoint. John Allen, he's getting up there in age, so to speak. And so you're looking for that next guy. I love the fact that Deron was able to play the entire season. And he was banged up all year long, but you never heard him complain about it or any of those things. And he fought all the way to the finish. He is a building block for this defense moving forward.
All right, well, you got your KJ Henrys of the world, like this splash. You know, I think Cody Barton got better as the year went on. And one thing I always say, the best ability is availability. So that's opportunity for other people to go out there and make plays. I thought Khalil Hudson played well down the stretch. I thought guys filled in, even the young cornerbacks. I know the fact that people get Forbes, all that fire. At the end of the day, I thought for the last couple of weeks, he stepped in with the elbow brace on, and I thought he played well. I thought he stood up to the challenge. So that's what it's about on defense. When they tell us we investing in the future, well, we also have to invest in the now. And I thought the rest of those guys, they stayed in the now, and they got better. I'm sorry. Under Coach Rivera, when they switched it over to him, they got better.
And it was great to see these young guys get a chance to show what they really can do. But one guy that was a veteran on this team that showed all season what he's capable of is a Terry McLaurin. So, Tana, I'm going to go to you. Because you had a couple of 1,000-yard seasons in your day, back in your day. Now, Terry McLaurin, a few of them. Now, Terry McLaurin got his fourth consecutive 1,000-yard season last game against the Dallas Cowboys. Tana, I'm going to just give it to you to talk about Terry and just how cool it is to see him hit another 1,000-yard season. Also, how tough it is to do that consistently.
Well, first of all, when you think about it, I think we was coming into this season, we was talking about this is going to be having Sam at quarterback is going to be his 10th quarterback. And then you add Jacoby, that's 11th. So to have that kind of consistency in his play, to deal with all those quarterbacks in 5 years, is unheard of. I dealt with that in 14 seasons, had 15 quarterbacks, and I remember the years, we talk about me leading the team, but only finishing a little shy of having that 1,000-yard. It was tough. It was one of those things to where I was almost ready to check out. Like, bro, I'm tired. I'm tired of sitting out here trying to be open every week and not getting the ball. This guy never said a word. Went out there and fought. And so I think it's a tall feat for him. I think when you look at this guy and you talk about certain wide receivers in this league, he has to be mentioned. He had to be one of those guys when it comes to his toughness, his way of going up there, catching those 50-50 balls, and his way of just being a leader of men. He showed you time and time again when he got that mic in front of his face and that camera, the way he spoke about his teammates, the way he spoke about his accomplishment, that's something that you want around you. So, we can talk about the 1,000 yards. I'm talking about the man. I'm talking about the guy behind the 1,000 yards. It's not a surprise to me why he's a guy that's constantly going up there and, accomplishing goals like that, because he's just that good of a person.
When you talk about Terry, not just as a player, but as the man, he is still our Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. And Terry, as we all know, made some big plays this season. So, fellas, while we're outside in this cold for the last time, let's look at some of the best plays from this season. So, fellas, this first play, we're bringing it all the way back to week 2. This is against the Denver Broncos. Brian Robinson Jr. touchdown. Let's take a look.
This my tone set of B-Rob. Look at them. Look at the offensive line, man. Look at that hole.
That's just B-Rob being B-Rob.
Great athlete.
He looked fresh there. Look early season fresh.
B-Rob being B-Rob.
I love the blocking by the offensive line, how they just crashed out that D-line of the Broncos.
I love that violent running style. That's what I love.
My favorite part about this is the crowd jump. Y'all ever did a crowd jump on an away arena?
No. I did.
You got rejected.
No, they pulled like Milwaukee's best all over.
They pulled beer all over.
I'm talking about winner L.
I saw it on the Sunday night countdown.
But somebody that didn't get any beer poured on them was Jahan Dotson. This is what sent the game into overtime with 1 second left. Now, Tanner, that is ice cold.
I mean, that's ice cold, but just to think, man, this team went from playing tight with a team like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, those moments were special just to see that we can stand there and play with the best of them.
Definitely saw some good football there. We was out in Philly, man.
The throw by Sam.
Now let's take it to week 7 against the Giants. This is Terry McLaurin with the big dog catch. Look at that, fellas.
That's what he does, though. Are you surprised at all?
No, never surprised with him.
Yeah, what were we surprised?
I thought he was going to score on this one, right? I didn't think he'd get touched at first.
He was a hard catch
ball placement.
He a hard catch
ball placement.
He had He had a pass early in that game too, I believe. He had a catch early in that game when he got called back. So
now let's send it down to New England, the coldest place we probably went to this offseason, Tanner. This is Quan getting a big interception. Fred, you talked about how big he was stepping up like this, man. How do you feel watching Quan Martin get this interception?
Let's have fun. Like every time I do, I like people to have fun doing what they doing. He never looks in distress. So I enjoy that about him, and he makes plays when they present themselves.
That was game winner right there.
Yeah. Quietly, Quan tied for interceptions this year with tied for the lead.
And this last play, believe it or not, is no other than our play from Dallas
Couple Sundays ago,
where we got the
He looked like Fred, them bad feet.
Hey, that's that boy Josh. Hey, that dude, that's Josh Pryor with that 5'9" on.
We ain't seen nobody flashing 5'9" at 30 years. I thought they had retired the number.
I did too. I thought they would have.
You know what? They did retire at 27. You know that, right?
What?
Boy, y'all ain't seen nobody at 27 since me.
No, they ain't cousin you.
Name of 27.
That ain't cousin you.
I was great. King of the South.
Hey, Tanner, what's that? What you call that right there? Pay a listen to the lie, right?
Exactly.
We call that
Captain. Name somebody.
All the movies you know where lies.
Last 10 years, somebody was
liar.
Because the number's whack or what?
Yeah, because it's a white number.
I'm just saying.
Nobody wants to 27.
Name somebody.
It's whack.
Name somebody.
While y'all think about who number 27 has been since Fred, let's take a look at some player awards. I want y'all to give these guys some awards because they deserve it. Let's get to that. Fellas, it's time to just chill. Brought to you by Steam Fitters. Steam Fitters UA Local 602 provides the highest level HVAC and mechanical piping services. We just saw some of the greatest plays from this season, and it really was a fun season. And you know what? We have a lot of fun on Command Center. Tanner, you're Mr. Ice Cold. Fred, you're Mr. Fired Up. London, you are Mr. Set the Tone. And Logan, you are the film guru. So what I think we should do on this segment right here is hand out awards based off of your guys' popular segments on Command Center, which you can check out every Thursday on the Commanders YouTube page. So make sure you check that. We had a lot of fun. Y'all gotta check all that out.
Let's do this.
The timeless things. Okay, so we're gonna start with Santana, Mr. Ice Cold. Who gets the Ice Cold award on this Commander season?
Well, I'm giving my Ice Cold award to Curtis Samuels. Did an exceptional job this year with the portion of time that he got a chance to go out there and strut his stuff. I mean, he's second in yards, second in catches. He was a guy at times, man, he could have just took over the game if they allowed him to. So he gets my Ice Cold moment or award.
I like that. I like that. Now, Fred, you are Mr. Fired Up. Who gets your Fired Up award? Who had you most fired up this season?
First of all, I think it's Quan. Let's have fun, boy. Hey, I gotta say, this guy really started to peak at the end of the year. Not just in coverage, physical at the point of attack on the run plays. I thought he was well-rounded. Like those Illinois guys all played him and Witherspoon. They all played very similar, and he had a high football IQ. And I'm one of those guys, I like guys with a high IQ because he can play through injuries. He can play through pretty much whatever you put him in.
And Quan Martin, one of those next man up guys that really stepped up and showed it big. And speaking of stepping up, Mr. Set the Tone. Who set the tone for you this season?
Man, B-Rob set the tone for me this season. When you look at what B-Rob was able to accomplish, going for over 1,000 yards from scrimmage, had 9 touchdowns total, 5 rushing, 4 receiving. You looked at B-Rob, and coming out of college, the knock was, hey, maybe he doesn't catch the ball as well. But this year, he showed the ability, what you say, like he should have had a Pampers on. He got sponsored by Pampers with them soft hands. B-Rob really set the tone. I wish he would have got more carries as a running back because he would have had even more of a tone-setting mentality for his football team.
B-Rob definitely showed he was an every down back this season, man. Great award. And last but not least, Mr. Logan Paulson. We need the Film Guru Award. And this one is a little different. This is somebody that when you watch film from week 1 to week 18, you see improvement. Who gets this Film Guru Award?
I mean, obviously, Quan would have been a perfect candidate for this award, but another guy we got to talk about is Sam Cosby, man. Kind of switching from tackle back to inside for the first time in his career, really. He did such a fantastic job of seeing the game in a better way, being physical in the run game, excellent pass protection and really being like one of the best offensive linemen in football the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season.
And he had great dance moves. So
great dance moves. Gritty, right? He did a great job.
was good.
So, I mean, when you watch him week to week, every single game getting better, and I love how he's getting nasty with Micah Parsons in the last game of the season. That's fantastic. So he's my award winner.
And fellas, great awards, great job. And Logan, hearing you talk just makes me think of the draft. And I feel like now we're at the point in the show where we got to give the people what they want. We got to give them that draft talk. So let's get into all the details coming up with this draft. These are our lucky numbers brought to you by Maryland Lottery. Fast play games. Play fast, win fast today, but please play responsibly. Let's take a look at how our offseason is going to look, especially draft related. First, we have the Senior Bowl, February 4th. That is out in Mobile, Alabama. Our guy Logan Paulson is hitting the road. He'll be out in Mobile, Alabama, giving you everything you need to know about the Senior Bowl. And then we are sending Logan Paulson to Indy. That's right, he will be at the NFL Combine from March 2nd to 5th, giving you everything you need to know combine related and about these numbers that these young fellas are putting up. And then, of course, the NFL Draft, April 25th to the 27th in Detroit. Your entire Command Center crew will be out there giving you everything you need to know about the draft prospects and the picks we take. Hopefully, it is a game changer. Now that we went over these off-season dates, specifically the NFL Draft, let's send it over to our draft expert, Logan Paulson.
Are you the expert?
Draft guru.
I can't believe anything you say anymore, man.
Draft
I can't believe anything you say. Fred Kuiper.
Fred, no disrespect, but we're going to let
Curry.
Logan handle this one. Logan, what do you look for? Because you're going to be at the Combine.
Yeah.
You're going to be at the Senior Bowl. You're going to be at the Draft. What are you looking for when you break down these prospects?
I mean, I think the most exciting thing I'm looking forward to is the Senior Bowl. That's when you get to actually watch football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're watching film, grinding the tape, but you see them in person. You see them kind of live and live in color, the best against the best, and you get to kind of flush out your evaluation. And not the top end guys. Those guys are already pretty settled. It's the middle, those second, the third, fourth, fifth round guys that really make the media roster. So that's something I'm always excited for.
Yeah, we into analytics now. I ain't still break up none of that. I ain't Senior Bowl.
There's a little bit of haterade going on right now.
It's actually the draft bowl now, right?
The draft
Because there
bowl.
are juniors there now, so we'll get that cleared up.
What position do you most enjoy breaking down?
Well, the position I like the least is DBs because they don't actually play that much football when you actually watch it play to play. And I think offensive line is probably the most fun to watch, right? Physical linebackers are in the mix, right? Guys that are in the mix that are doing stuff. So DBs, no, absolutely not. Receivers, excellent to evaluate, lots of fun. See them catch the football. DBs, no way.
Do you hate everything French Smoot?
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
If you like what the wide receivers
I'm
we do the same thing.
I'm glad I'm between these two guys right now.
They need some separation. Honestly, though, they got good chemistry because they've been beating y'all down all season. There's something going on here. It's a lover's quarrel.
Didn't we win the last time?
We done won.
Yeah, we won the last one.
We won, though, didn't we?
We won the last one.
And that is on tape.
No, we
put it on tape. We ain't
And
got
they
to talk
didn't
about
have
it.
to cheat. They didn't have to
we
cheat.
won the
That
last
ain't
one.
cheat. That's called chemistry.
So take that back.
You know what? And speaking of Tana and London, I'm going to stick with you guys because we are kind of far from this number 2 pick being announced if we do pick at number 2. You all have announced draft picks before. Y'all are like big time stars and legends. Y'all been on that stage before. Talk about your favorite draft memories. Tana, I'm going to start with you.
It was nerve-wracking, I can tell you that much. But I had fun. I was in Vegas, so I got a chance to do a lot of other gigs. People saw me out there, hey, Taylor, you want to do this? Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm But no, it was fun, man, just knowing that, to me, it was a big privilege, just knowing that folks allowed me to go up there and bring in that new guy. And I was looking at that car, I'm like, okay, please give me an easy name. And then they give me the name they give me, and then they broke it down on the car. So I was like, Lord, thank you. Because I didn't want to go out there and mess it up.
Oh, it was Big Phil.
Yeah.
Fidarian.
That's
a tough one.
And they
That's
broke
a
it
tough
all
one, man.
They
That's a
broke
tough
it
one.
down. I was like, oh, I can do this. I can do this. No, but I said his name. We had a lot of fans out there. I interact with the fans, and it was a great experience.
Was it cool being on that side of it? Because you've been drafted before. You were a first round pick.
Yeah.
Was it cool being on the other side?
You know what was cool about it? Just seeing the other guys from other teams. I walk in, Barry Sanders and the running backs are talking. And Barry like, Moss, to be called out by Barry Sanders, I'm like,
What's up, boy? These dudes are fans too.
So just to see guys like Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, all those guys, there was so many guys there, and I got a chance to interact, just talk to them and chop it up, man.
And London, real quick for you, because you were undrafted.
Yeah.
And then you turn it around, and now you're at the draft announcing a pick, man. How cool is that, real quick?
Extremely cool. I had a Mike Singletary moment, much like you had, where me and Singletary actually went and hung out the day before we I announced the pick. But I announced Morgan Moses.
Yeah.
And Moses got drafted in the 3rd round, and he actually was there in the green room, so I got to share that moment with him. So just an awesome experience.
That is so cool. And Fred, of course, you know you wanted to be the guru, but we don't want to leave you out, brother. We know you're the draft expert. We ain't want to leave you out. I want to hear from you because you know what? If there's somebody that know how to party, it's Fred Smoot.
Yes.
So take us back to draft night, man.
Preach your son.
Preach your son, draft night.
Well, you know what? It was a sleeping night in Mississippi. and it's probably me and probably like 43 Smoots, like all gathered. We had an event building that we had, but I had the two that really meant the most to me at that time, and that was my grandmama, Grandma Smoot, and my mama. All right, so I had them there just to have that moment with them, because you got to realize they done fed us a lot of food by that time. they done did a lot with us, the ups and the downs of life, to see us like live a dream. And I think that's the moment of the draft that people don't understand. People get to live your dream with you. And it's been a part of their dream because they drop you off at practice. They picked you up. They believe when they took that little league picture talking about I'm gonna make it to the league, and everybody like, nah, he ain't. Right? So it was that moment, and I like the fact that they got to live it with me. So that's what I took from my draft night.
Well, man, I'm sure y'all parents are all very, very proud of y'all grandparents, man. Thank you for sharing that. That was really, really cool.
Yeah,
and
tear
you
right
know what,
there.
fellas? Listen, little small, little Denzel tear right here. Fellas, listen, I got more questions for y'all, but I am freezing. So we are going to get up out of here. Hopefully our food ain't freezing as well, because I feel like we can't eat none of this. This is all cold right now. We're going to go get some dinner. But Commanders family, do not miss us too much, because every Thursday we will be back on Command Center. All of us here. We're going to have London pull up on us a time or two as well. And we are going to give you all the content you need, draft content, off-season content, updates about coaches. We're going to do all of that. So make sure you don't go nowhere. Hit that subscribe button and make sure you tune in to the Commanders YouTube page for our last Command Center of the regular season. That's what we're calling this, right? This is the bow on the regular season. Commanders family, thank y'all so much for being here with us on this season. Thank you so much for supporting, for liking, for sharing. We will be back next Thursday.
Tonight, Dad came with. He didn't want his little sweet potato to be here without him. But now, he really wishes she was here without him. Next time, he'll just let her roll with her new entourage. And he'll only trust SeatGeek with the tickets. Because when she finds her happy place, he can find his way back to the car. The ticketing app trusted by fans. SeatGeek, so fans can fan.